What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be going over June 8th MLB games. I believe we got 15 of them. I didn't do the count, but typical me, I assume there's 15. We only had 3 yesterday, so it's nice to be back in the baseball action. Before we do that, you know what to do. Go down there, like, subscribe, join the community. We do these review videos daily following the MLB season all season long. So make sure you join the conversation. I'm excited to see some new voices along with me. First game of the day, we got Orioles 10, Mets 3. The Mets were out to 2-0 lead here, but the Orioles offense, it's back, and it was popping off really big here. It was pretty much an all-around team effort. If you look over at the hits here, everyone was getting multi-hit games almost. Only guy missing out on the action was Mountcastle. Franco hit his 7th home run of the season. Santander hit his 4th of the season for the New York Mets. We had Pete Alonso. He had a 2-home run night, but too much, too little, too late. He's the only guy that was really awake for the offense on the Mets side. Zimmerman goes 5 innings, pitched 2 runs, 7 Ks, getting his 4th win of the season, and he's been up and down all season. He started the season good. He had a lot of rough outings in between, but this outing overall was pretty good for him. Peterson, 2.2, 4 earned runs, and 4 Ks in the loss here. Big loss for the Mets. This division's starting to heat up, and they got the Atlanta Braves hot on their tail. We'll get to that in a second. Dodgers 5, Pirates 3, and this one started off very interesting with Brian Hayes hitting a home run, but getting called out because he forgot to touch first base. Typical Pirates fashion, having some issues with the first base. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah. He gets his home run taken off the board. Pretty interesting there. But Dodgers come in midway through, put up a bunch of runs, take a 5-0 lead. And then the Pirates try to come back, but it's too little too late to put up 3 runs late in this game. Reynolds hits his 9th home run of the season. Perez his 4th for the Pirates. And Taylor for the Dodgers hits his 8th of the season. That's all it takes. Buehler goes 7, 0 earned runs, 2 strikeouts in the win. He's now 5-0 in the season. He's been very consistent for the Dodgers. And Brubaker, 4.23 earned runs, 6 Ks in the loss here. Brubaker had a pretty good outing, and Dodgers got to him in that 1 inning, and they couldn't get out of the 5th. He gets charged with all the runs in that inning. But yeah, moving along, we got the Braves 9, Phillies 5. And for this one, the Phillies and Braves, they were going back and forth, like typical fashion with these guys when they play each other all season long. It's back and forth, lots of runs, et cetera, et cetera. It's very, very tight, and the Braves are actually down 5-4 heading into this 8th, and then they put up a nice, juicy 5 spot, which gives them a 9-5 victory. Cunha Jr. now ties Vladdy on top there with 18th home run of the season, and Wilmer Contreras hits his 6th of the season, and Austin Riley his 11th of the season. So we got 3 home runs across the board for the Braves. Harper for the Phillies gets his 8th of the season, and Realmuto gets his 6th, but the Braves are now back to 500, and we see them slowly edging back into the race, and like I kind of forecasted, the Mets loss and the Phillies lose here too, and they're finding a bigger edge against the Braves here, falling further and further behind. Nola goes 5, 4 earned runs, 7 Ks, and Drew Smiley goes 4.12 earned runs, no Ks, and then the bullpen comes in, and Sean Newcomb ends up getting the win for the Braves. Astros 7, Red Sox 1, and the Astros completely just have the Red Sox number these past 2 weeks, and it's tough because it's basically the only team that the Red Sox have had trouble with. Houston's been pretty hot overall too. They had a good series against the Jays and Boston last week, and they're starting this week very strong. 6 runs in the first 2 innings, and they were out to 6-0 lead, and then give Valdez that kind of lead, and he closed the door. Carrera gets his 11th home run of the season. Alvarez his 8th. No home runs at all for the Red Sox. Perez goes only 2 innings, 6 earned runs, and 2 Ks. Feels like one of his worst outings of the season. I can't really remember a time so far this season where he's only lasted a couple innings, whereas Valdez goes 7.1, 8 strikeouts, 1 earned run. He's 1.47 ERA. He's been very, very good for the Stros and picks up his win here. Tigers 5, Mariners 3, and the Tigers, they're 10 games below 500. Like they're creeping slowly back into the power ranking conversation, I guess. They're going to get in that second bottom row. They're pretty much winning games. I think over the past month, they've been at least basically 500. They got to a 4-1 lead here, 5-1 about halfway through. And the Mariners had a couple chances with bases loaded to pop in some runs late in the game, including this 8th inning. They managed to put 2 across the board, but it's too little, too late. One of my favorite sayings, as you all know. Crawford leads the team off here with 3 hit, 9 leading the team off top of the lineup. Kelenic, as we all know, we talked about yesterday, has been designated for assignment. He's back in AAA, so maybe they got a stronger bat now in their lineup. Hasse for the Tigers gets his 8th home run of the season. Matt Boyd goes 6, 0 earned run, 3 Ks, and picking up his 3rd win of the season, and back to kind of what he was looking like right at the start of the season when he was basically unhittable. Gonzalez for the Mariners goes 4 earned runs, 2 Ks, and the loss here. Moving along, we got Tampa Bay Rays, Nationals 3. There was 1-1 early in this game. Home run from Margot in that first inning off John Lester gave the Rays a quick lead, and the Nationals answered back in the 3rd inning with a run of their own. And then in the bottom of the 5th, the Rays generate a couple of runs, and that's the difference here. The top of the lineup with a couple guys with 2 hits. Rosarina batting cleanup now. Glass now goes 7, 1 earned run, 11 Ks in the win, and then, as we know, if the Rays give the Rays a couple runs lead here, bringing in the bullpen, they're going to close the door. John Lester goes 3.2, 1 earned run, and 2 strikeouts on his own here. And the Rays continue to be very hot, and it might be time to dethrone the Red Sox in the power rankings. Marlins 6, Rockies 2. Rockies tried. They got out to a 1-0 lead here, but the Marlins put up that 4 spot. And once they got that 4-1 lead, they didn't really look back after that. Looking at their lineup here, Chisholm had a multi-hit night, Marte a multi-hit night, Aguilar a multi-hit night, Duvall multi-hit night. All these guys really multi-hit nights. And if you're giving the good guys on the Marlins some hits, they're going to score some runs. And that's usually the issue with the Marlins, but it wasn't the case today. Santazella goes 6, 4 earned run, 8 Ks. And Pablo Lopez, 8 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks. The starters for these Marlins continue to be a story for me, being very solid in this competitive division. Brewers 5, Reds 1, and the Reds were at 1-0, and I thought, at this time, I'm starting to think, what do the Reds need to get back in this playoff run? Well, A, they needed to win this game, but B, their offense needs to continue to click, and it was clicking early in this game, and I looked at it, I'm like, okay, they're not too far out from winning this division, but as soon as I started thinking that, Milwaukee started scoring some runs, and that's what they did. Home runs, Aviles Garcia hits a 12th in his 12th of the season, that 4th inning, which ties the game, and once they tie the game, they're able to generate more runs. Sonny Gray only goes 3 innings, 0 earned runs, 5 Ks. I don't know what there. He only lasted 50 pitches with no earned runs. There must have been some sort of issue. I wasn't following along with that. So if you guys saw that, let me know. Hauser goes 5.1, 1 earned run, 4 Ks on his 4th win of the season. And he's starting to bring his ERA down a little bit here. And we see the bullpen come in and take care of the Reds there with no runs against them. Giants 9, Rangers 4, and the Rangers were out 4-2, 6 innings into this game, and it was back and forth in the 2nd, and then in the 6th it was back and forth. I thought it was 2-2, and then the Rangers added a couple more there. Gallo, his 11th home run of the season in this one. But the Giants, they are showing that they're not just a pitching team. Their offense comes in the 8th and 9th and puts up 7 runs. Wade had a 3-hit night. Belt a 3-hit night. Overall, Brandon Crawford. I almost called him Carl Crawford. It's been a while. Brandon Crawford hits 2 home runs in this game. He's up to 14 on the season. It's one of his best home run seasons that I can recall. Tauchman hits his 3rd of the season, so that's 3 home runs for the Giants that power them to the victory here. Alex Wood goes 5.1, 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. And I think that's back-to-back performances now where Alex Wood has been giving up quite a bit of runs. But Lyles on the other side goes 6, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts in the no decision. And then the bullpen for the Rangers comes in, and as we know, they blow that game in that 8th inning, and then in the 9th, they give up even more. Speaking of bullpens having having some issues. Blue Jays lose this one 6-1, and it was a bullpen. They were 1-0 going into the 7th, and that's when it finally took for the White Sox bats to come alive. Vaughn hits his 5th home run of the season in that 7th inning, which ties it up. It's off Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray pitched a very good game, like giving them 7 innings, 6.1 innings, 1 earned run, but 13 Ks. He was lights out, but then the bullpen comes in and gives up 5 more runs. And yeah, there's no home runs for the Jays, and that Vaughn home run was the only one for the White Sox. But that 8th inning where they put up 8, they just demolished the Jays bullpen, which continues to be a struggle, especially with all the injuries they got going on. Definitely a bit of concern. Yankees 8, Twins 4, and after the Yankees struggled last week, they need a nice boost here, and they were down 2-0 early in this game in that 1st inning. It took them until all the way till that 5th before they scored their first runs and added 2 of their own, and then in the 6th inning went 1-1 back and forth. So it was 3-3 heading into the 8th, but the Yankees found it. In the 9th inning here, Gary Sanchez adds his 7th home run of the season. Aguilar also hits his 4th this season, so they power their way to some insurance runs at that point. The Twins were only able to add 1 run in the bottom of the 9th themselves. Pineda goes 4.1, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks. Jordan Montgomery goes 5.2, 3 earned runs, and 6 Ks, and then no decision. And then the Yankees used a couple of their bullpen that we're used to seeing. Luciaga is now 5-2 in the season. For a bullpen guy, that's a lot of decisions, which just goes to show kind of how the starters have been for the New York Yankees this season. But it's a big win for the Yankees. Boston lost, Tampa Bay wins, and the Jays lose. But so they're gaining ground on some, definitely the wild card race. Indians 10, Cardinals 1. Sorry for the little chuckle there, but the Indians putting up a big offensive performance, and Bieber having a good pitching performance. Cardinals continue to kind of fall behind the 8 ball here with the Brewers winning again. The Cubs, we'll get to in a second, they won as well. So the Cardinals are 1 game above 500 now. And at one point, they were the big favorites in this National League Central. Now, I'm not so sure they're even going to be in that conversation in the way they've been playing. Jose Ramirez, 14th home run of the season. If we look at the Cleveland bats here, we had 3 guys right in the heart of their lineup with 3-hit night performances with Rosario, Ramirez, and the other Rosario. Then in the bottom of the lineup, a couple guys with multi-hit nights. On the other side, no home runs. Carlos Martinez goes 4, 5 earned runs, 7 Ks. That's starting to look like it might be time for Carlos Martinez to not be able to do this. He's having 6.21 ERA, and he's been looking pretty rough all season long. Bieber goes 6, 1 earned run, 5 Ks in the win. He's now 7-3 on the season. 8-1, 8-1, Angels to Royals. Ohtani, nice night for him. 2-hit, 2 RBI performance. He hits his longest home run of his season. It might be his career, but definitely of the season. His 17th. He's now 1 behind the home run lead again, so he's right there in the hunt. Stassi hits his 4th, Iglesias his 5th, Upton his 14th, Ward his 6th. So it was just a home run parade for the Angels. And on the other side of the Royals, don't really get much going. They have 6-hit performance, and it's against Henny. Henny goes 6.21, earned run, 7 Ks, and he's been pretty good. He's been consistently average, but he's getting the win here. And when you get the power offense, Angels bats behind you, it's nice. Bubic goes 4, 6 earned runs, 4 Ks himself. But the problem here, 4 home runs that he gives up, and that's definitely the big difference. But also, he didn't get any run support, so not like it would have mattered all that much. Athletics 5, Diamondbacks 2, and Athletics have to keep pace with the Houston Astros, who keep winning. So the A's are like, all right, we're playing the D-backs, so we can win too. And that's what they do. They do fall behind 1-0 early, but they have that 5-run inning. That's all it takes against this Diamondbacks team. Diamondbacks have a late run as well. Walker hits his 2nd home run of the season. That's what led the scoring off. And the Oakland A's, they didn't have any home runs themselves. It was just bunch of hits, and led the way by Pinder, who had a 3-hit night. Bissett goes 7, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, and he's been solid all season long for these A's. 6-2 on the season. Duplantier is now 0-2 on the season, 3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 4 Ks, and Moving along to this last game of the night, I titled it "The Padres Got Their Revenge Yesterday After Being Swept last week by the Cubs." The Cubs coming right back with a nice, solid performance, 7-1, and that's what they really need to keep doing if they're going to maintain this lead or tied for lead with the Brewers right now in this division. It's going to take games like this. Nice rebounds, nice offense, nice pitching performances, and that's what they got all around. No home runs at all for the Padres. There's just the one run that they scored. Contreras hits his 10th of the season. Wisdom continues to be just complete fire for the Cubs. He hits his 8th of the season, and Rizzo hits his 6th of the season. We see Zach Davies go 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 4 Ks in the win. He's now 3-3 in the season. Lamet, 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 6 Ks. Lamet's one of his longest outings so far this season, 78 pitches, but he gives up 4 earned runs along the way, so it's somewhat of a trade-off, and yeah, that pretty much breaks down the June 8th MLB games. Quick recap of the action we saw. Let me know what games you guys watched, what specific highlights did you see that obviously I didn't mention, and join the community. Like I said, we're looking for people that just want to talk baseball, people that represent all teams from across the league. This is a community where it's safe and fun to just discuss the game. So make sure you join that, and we'll see you for the next video.